Good evening, it's time to go wild. Oh, it's Monday, it's another week. It's hopefully not going to be a bad one for us all, because it's nice weather. And of course, it's Monday night. It's time to go wild. Evening, Doug.
Good evening, Cole. How are you?
I'm eating well. Has the nervous tick gone?
It has, yeah.
Yeah, you were looking a bit...
We had a hockey fix on Sundays.
Yeah, we did.
So we're okay now.
Yeah, it was a bit of a wreck this week. So, who did we have playing?
Who were playing? We had the Riverside Raiders against the Telford Spartans.
Ah, yeah, it was a bit of a close one and all.
It was very, very close. The Spartans were ahead for quite a long part of the game, and then the Raiders clawed their way back but missed out by one goal.
Yeah.
So the result was 7-6 to the Spartans.
Yeah, so you managed to catch up with someone after the game?
Yes, we did. We caught up with one of our guests tonight, Mike Teinert.
This is what he had to say.
After match interview with Mike Teinert for the Riverside Raiders following their narrow defeat 7-6 in this game in Widnes. How do you think you played, Mike?
Well, I think playing against a team we'd never actually played for before, I think we had a good showing from all the boys tonight. First couple of periods were very difficult, fell behind, didn't play fully as a team, but then third period we brought it back together, and very, very close game, a game played in very good spirit between everybody and very enjoyable.
That's good. And you looking forward to coming on the radio tomorrow night?
Very much so. Have to make sure we behave ourselves, obviously, but
yes.
I think it'll be interesting for all the listeners to have a bit of a view on rec hockey.
Yeah.
We've obviously had a bit of a listening for league hockey, but rec hockey's a different story altogether. So.
Yes, thanks very much,
Thanks
mate.
very much.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Yes, and I guess tonight, Mike Teinert, who you heard for a while in that conversation, which was very good, and Ben Donkin, both from the Riverside Raiders.
Good evening, gents.
Good evening.
Thanks for joining us. The game. Before we do a bit of intro, the game. Now you've had a chance to reflect. How do you feel it went, all in all?
Yeah, it was a good effort. Second period, as we all know, heads dropped, and that's where we pretty much let it go away from us. But we came back in the third with a good, strong finish. Definitely some things to work on and move forward from
definitely
there.
some plans for training in the weeks ahead, and things to definitely identify to improve, and go back and play them again later in the year, and a different result altogether, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, it's challenge games, so it's always nice and open for everybody, so it's not quite played in the same way, but we'll be addressing that a little bit later on as we go along. Before we get into the full throw of things, I better give out all the information and have our first song, so everyone gets a quick breather, gathers their thoughts. Of course, this is the Time to Go Wild radio show here on Halton Community Radio 92.3 FM. We have our Facebook page, facebook.com/TTGW Radio, and it's the same when you want to use Twitter. You can also add the hashtag TTGW Radio in as well. Don't forget, you can email the show, radio@widneswild.co.uk, and we have the phone, if we can actually spot it, ringing on 01928 835 Of course, coming up a little bit later on, we have our announcement of the week. Stay tuned, don't go running off. In the meantime, I think, who wants to do it? Ben or Mike wants to introduce our first song?
Yeah, no problem at all. Well, I think this is my choice, this one, the first one we'll go for. They're a big favourite band of mine, but a bit of a Iron Maiden, Coming Home.
Oh, bit of rock there from Iron Maiden to start the show off here at Time to Go Wild Radio. Well, seeing it was Mike's choice, we'll start with Mike. Good evening again, Mike.
Good evening, Cole.
Oh, yes. Well, I know you listened, of course, on a Tuesday night when I got the Box of Delights out, but it makes a change to be here in the studio.
It's a little bit odd, really, isn't
it? So. Normally aside the other end of a keyboard. Well, we usually, seeing that it's the first time here, we'll be doing it with Ben in just a little while. Say hello to a few people. I know there's going to be two people very eager to hear their dad, and tell us who you are, what you're up to.
Yes, I'm going to have to, obviously, I won't get into trouble. I've got to say hello to a couple of people at home. There's a hello to Daniel and Grace, and obviously Lynn, who'll be listening at home. And yes, I would have been in a be hung, drawn and quartered. I've not said hello there, but yeah.
They're avid listeners from what I can gather.
Oh yes, definitely enjoy the show. So but I'm Mike, so game coordinator at the moment for the Riverside Raiders, so generally doing quite a lot of the background work for all the games and the training sessions, make sure everything's booked, everyone can turn up and we actually have ice time to go on and train to and play to. So but day job solicitor, evening job playing hockey, so there's not a bit of polar opposites really there between the two.
Seems to be a lot of it in seeing what people do, be it presenting music or playing hockey. It's one of those things. Maybe it's a case you can take out some of your frustrations having a bit of a skate.
Yeah, I think you can pretty much take the frustrations out on a game of hockey. There's no questions about that at all.
So what made you take up hockey?
Well, I mean, I've been playing hockey since I was quite young. Started off like a lot of the lads and girls out there playing roller hockey while I was at school. Little villages playing roller hockey basically on wherever you could actually play hockey. Car parks from supermarkets, playgrounds, wherever you could do, and started skating at the old Altrincham rink when I was young, and obviously that went to the wind and just basically stopped playing hockey for quite a number of years until about 3 years ago when I heard about the Riverside Raiders setting up the team, and been playing with them ever since.
So you're one of the originals. I'll bring Ben in. So Ben, you can come in now. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you take up hockey.
Yeah, so my day job's a bit different. I work in IT recruitment, but being on the ice is good to get some frustrations out, that's for sure. My hockey journey, I started when I was about 6-7 years old. I actually started my hockey down in Bracknell in Berkshire. The ice rink that I played at in Bracknell had a ski slope on the outside. Went for a birthday party doing a ski lesson, went to see the ice rink and see the players training, just thought I'd got to get involved with this. Went and watched my first game with my dad, Bracknell versus Cardiff. Still to this day the best game I've ever seen. It was an absolute bloodbath, bench clearances every single period.
But that happened to have been in the old, wouldn't have been in the ISL, was it in the old BHL?
It was in the Secunda Super League.
Oh right, so it was the Bracknell Bees against the Cardiff Devils. Ooh, that would have been a feisty one.
Yeah, so that was that, and I played for about 10-11 years, then had a break, and then I've got back last November, I think it was, up in Widnes.
So I mean, what do you find between places that you've been to play your hockey, and we'll talk a bit more about rec hockey in a moment, but about what attracted to come to Widnes and stick around at Widnes?
Well, I mean, the rink I think it's a great rink. I mean, Bracknell was 30-40 years old when I was playing there, and it's fallen apart now, along with a lot of the rinks down south. So it's quite refreshing to play at sort of a fairly new rink. And it's just a great vibe. Like, I mean, the Raiders and all the sort of the other rec clubs in the sort of northwest is just a great atmosphere. And
it is very much a family with the hockey. It really is. It's not just, you're not just playing a sport. We're all together all the time. We're talking to each other, organising things, and what goes on in one team, you all know about it. We all speak to each other, and it is just like a family.
I mean, if anyone out there is thinking, well, I fancy taking up hockey, I mean, we've got 3 rec teams now, all at sort of different levels, different intensities. What advice would you say to them?
I'd say just do it. There's not just the rec hockey teams, especially at Widnes. They've got numerous hockey basics courses that are going on, so anyone who wants to start playing hockey, it's not the cheapest sport to start playing, but at Widnes they learn to play the hockey basics, where they'll provide the initial kit for you to train and learn to skate properly, learn to stick handle.
Yeah, it is one of the big things. I mean, I suppose initially it's just a case of a decent pair of skates, gloves, helmet, and that's basically where you need to start. You don't need to have all the padding. It's just a case of being able to skate and control the puck.
Yeah, being able to skate is generally quite a good starting point, really.
No, well, yeah. I know myself, I can just about go forwards and stop. Ooh. I think Doug's half trashing the studio there, everybody. Don't worry about that. So, give everyone a quick lowdown on rec hockey and the different types of rec hockey then, guys. Come on. Because people think of hockey as a very physical, hard-hitting sport, but that's not necessarily the truth with rec.
No, I mean, with rec hockey, there's certainly 2 different types of rec hockey you can play. There's non-contact and there's checking. There's the 2 different types, so obviously different levels of intensity. Obviously your checking hockey is, as it sounds, a lot more a physical game, but you've got your non-checking hockey, which the vast majority of the games that the Raiders play are non-checking, and it is a different level, of different type of hockey altogether. It's a lot more passing the puck, skating out with it, rather than putting your body on the line a lot of the time. But we're not saying it's non-contact, by far from it, really.
Oh, I mean, get stuck in the boards. There's hustles, tussles, bit of pushing and shoving. But yeah, it's one of those times where those of you out there who might not be too familiar with penalties, there's an unusual penalty in recreational hockey and some level of rec hockey and also in women's hockey called body checking, and it's one you don't get in a lot more of the higher levels, and it's because it is, I've actually enjoyed watching a lot of the non-checking hockey, because it's featuring skating and stick handling and skill and a lot of speed. I mean, it's surprising just how fast some of the games are. Yeah, it is. I say, you wouldn't think that from being a completely different level of hockey for rec hockey than your league hockey, there's not a great deal difference in the actual speed of the game. In fact, some would say that some of the players who are playing rec hockey will be a lot faster than some of the guys playing league. So what would you say to that then, Ben? I mean, it's very much a skating. Does that suit your style of play?
Yeah, it's something I'm still getting used to, let's put it that way. Yeah, no, I mean, for me, obviously, I've played contact for a long time, so adjusting to non-contact is interesting. But I mean, the speed of some of the players that were coming out is crazy. But that actually steps up my D game, so I've got to be as fast as they are skating at me forward. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely pushed me in a different way. Let's put it that way.
So primarily a defenseman. How have your game developed over the last season with the Raiders?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting one. I'm obviously back on the ice from sort of a 10-11 year break, so it's a bit rusty to start off with. But no, in general, I mean, it's we do sort of a good bit of training each week with the Raiders, yeah, no, the game's coming well. It's going on well.
Well, we're going to take a little breather for a few of our advert announcements, and we'll be right back. This is Time to Go Wild on Halton Community Radio 92.3 FM.
Can't catch us in the car?
Download the TuneIn app
Or log on at hcr923fm.com.
All right. People have been coming along the Twitter feed at the moment with a few comments, and we can repeat some of them.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, is that good? Yes. We've got Steve Aspinall, one of our regular listeners, who says that it's great to hear another Southerner. Shame he supported the wrong club. And luckily for Mike, both Grace and Daniel were listening.
Excellent.
Apparently Grace was singing along to his songs. So Daddy's done it right tonight.
This is good to know. So, well, we'll have a little chat about last night then. A little bit more about last night's game. It was a challenge game. So, what made you decide to organise it?
Well, Andrew Tooth, who's one of the game coordinators down at Telford, has been pestering me for probably the best part of 2 years to have a game against them, and just fortunate that we had some ice time spare, and we invited the lads up for a challenge game, and obviously have a reciprocal game against them at the end of August. So just great to have a new team that we've not played before, and see how we came up against them, really.
Yeah, I mean, it looked a pretty competitive game. It was played in good spirits as well. I mean, only 2 penalties, of course. One of the naughty boys is sat in the studio with us tonight, Michael.
Yeah. Try to behave myself more.
But no, it was a bit of it was a high stick, so to speak, but no, it wasn't one of the nasty penalties, so to speak. It's one of those ones that can just happen, as we've been discussing off air. But we were actually chatting, Doug and I were chatting with one of the guys from the Telford team. Unfortunately didn't catch his name, but quick shout out.
He was outside, and he was aghast that we had a show that included, well, it was all inclusive, so any rec team could come on, and he was quite impressed that we were going to give his team a bit of a mention, so we mentioned him on Twitter this morning.
Yeah, so the Telford Spartans.
Hopefully the Telford Spartans will be listening.
Yeah.
Because we did tell them how to listen.
Yes, we
Colin did his spiel.
Well, it's
come off pretty pat nowadays. Yeah. Come on the TuneIn app, and we're on HCR 92.3
FM, of course, or
2.3 FM. Yeah. So Hopefully, we'll be getting more listeners from across the hockey family to have a listen.
Yes, we really hope so. If you are listening in, give us a quick shout. We have our Facebook page and Twitter, so give us a quick hello, give us a quick like, and of course it's Twitter and Facebook are all TTGW Radio, and that way we'll know that you're out there, so just give us a quick hi, and you can also give messages through to the guys. Well, we have... Now, I think we're going to have another song, because we have our announcement coming up shortly, and we need to take a breather. Ben, I'm not taking responsibility for this one. This one is completely and utterly your fault.
That's funny, because off air you didn't tell me that.
Oh, yes, I did. No denying it. Come on. What's the song?
This is Leo with Banana Split.
Well, suppose it's one the Minions would like. Well, the Banana Split. Come on, Ben. What possessed you to pick that one? And
It was a simple YouTube search for pump up music, so it was top of the hits.
well, if people listen to me on a Tuesday night here on Halton Community Radio for the Box of Delights, I play everything from rock to country and pop to the preposterous, but that goes an absolute level above what I've been playing.
So you can think of one that's worse than that.
Oh, send your request through to the Coles Box of Delights, please. I'm always open for something a bit silly. It usually gets me beaten up.
It's that time again.
Hang on. Wrong fader. Okay. It's the tension music moment again. So it means one thing. It's time to announce a player. Ooh. We've been dragging it out a while. We've kept you here for a good half an hour. We love it. So, Doug, who have we got?
Well, despite pleas for more than one player from various people who've been on Twitter, I'm sorry, we've only got one player, but he's a big one. It's a massive...
Is he that big? I didn't think he was that big.
It's just he's got his personality's huge.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic player. The fans love him. The rest of his teammates love him. He played a really good part when we won the playoff championships. It's Bez Hughes, number 20.
Good evening, Bez.
Hiya.
And there you go, listeners. He's on the line. So how are you feeling about coming back?
Yeah, it's good. I'm can't wait to get back with the team and get back going again.
So we've had a few of the guys on. I mean, of course, the highlight from last season was winning the playoffs. How did that feel for you on being part of the team?
Yeah, it was a great experience, great feeling. It's shame we didn't do it a couple of years ago, but it feels great to have it under our belt now again.
I mean, you've been a part of the team building year on year, apart from your small break, but you've been a major part of the building of the Wild as a team over the years. So, I mean, you can take a lot from that you've been, really key player. I mean, what have you been doing while you've been between the seasons?
Pardon?
What have you been up to between end of season and when the new season's going to be starting?
Oh, well, everyone does the same thing. I think we just have a bit of a break, get back, and then start preparing, ready for the next year. So, obviously, with us, work takes a big chunk of that out, but just get ready for next season, get going again. Well,
we got, as you know, there's plenty of people looking forward to seeing you back on the ice. And have the guys got a question quickly for Bez? Come on, let's have a quick something to ask you.
Hi, Bez. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
What really? Obviously, you've been with the Wild for a number of years now. So, what do you think's made you want to come back for another season? What's another bite at the cherry?
It's just a great atmosphere there. Being with all the lads, there's a good group of lads, and the fans are exceptional there as well. We nearly pack out every week, so it's a great place to be playing, and it's a great place to play in front of fans. So
I mean, your mum and dad,
come back.
Your mum and dad are there, and family. So I mean, it doesn't faze you.
Pardon? Does it faze me?
Nah, yeah. Does it faze you having family there?
No, not really. Always played in front of them, so it's quite easy.
So anyway, we shall let you get on. Thanks for coming on. So there you go, Bez Hughes back for another season. Well, we'll have a little break for one more piece of music and a little bit of Dire Straits, I think. And if I find the right one, yes, I think that's the one I want. A bit of Brothers in Arms. Right, well, we actually had a game this weekend, so we've got a classified result for you. 2nd of July, Riverside Raiders against Telford Spartans in a challenge match. Of course, you heard it before, but we'll remind you again. Riverside Raiders 6, Telford Spartans 7. Of course, don't forget, we've got the own and loan shirts are going like hotcakes at the moment for the Widnes Wild. So if you want information about that and your season ticket and Wild Ones membership, go to www.widneswild.co.uk.
We've got also the podcast that comes after the show, which Colin very kindly puts up as quickly as he can in his very busy schedule. I don't know how he juggles it between doing this and the Box of Delights on a Tuesday night and holding down a full-time job as well.
One does one's best.
Right, on Wednesday we have My Pet Project, which is the Icebreakers meeting, which is open to all businesses in the Widnes area and Runcorn area, in fact the whole of the locality, who want to come along to the ice rink on Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock and talk to other businesses. We're hosting that from 9 probably to 9 till 10:30, something like that. So if you want to come along and you are a business or you're just looking to get some advice on something, come and see us.
Up and coming fixtures?
The fixtures, we've got a plethora of fixtures coming up. So the Twitch won't be here. So we've got on Saturday, the Riverside Raiders away at the Blackburn Buccaneers, so that's not too far up the M6 and across to go and see them. On Sunday, the 16th, the Widnes Wildcats are at home to the Kingston Cobras. That's in the Summer Cup, and that faces off at 16:30. On Saturday, the 22nd of July, the Wildcats are away at the Kingston Cobras down the other end of the M62. On Sunday, the Widnes Wildcats, very busy, are away at the Blackburn Falcons. On Sunday, the 23rd, again, the Riverside Raiders take on the Blackburn Buccaneers at home this time. That faces off 16:30. And on Sunday, the 30th of July, the Widnes Wildcats take on the Grimsby Lightning in the Summer Cup. That faces off at 16:30.
Well, one more thing we've got is a recent publication by Paul Breeze, which is his book looking at last season and the successes of the Widnes Wild, and he's kindly prepared a little something to talk about and let you know a bit more information about it.
Hi, I'm Lucy, and I'm talking to Paul Breeze, who has just written a new book about ice hockey. So, Paul, what's the book called and how did it come about?
Well, it's called A Year in the Wild. It's a review of the 2016-17 ice hockey season in the Laidler Conference, when Widnes Wild, they came second in the league and they won the playoff final. So that basically explains what it is and what's in there. I was actually asked at the beginning of the season if I would like to do the match reports for the Widnes Wild website. And I said yes. It's an extension of what I was doing already. I watch a lot of ice hockey. I write about ice hockey anyway, so it wasn't a great step beyond what I was doing already. I have my own ice hockey website. I'd been writing match reports about the other teams that play at Silver Blades Widnes anyway. That's the Riverside Raiders and the Widnes Wildcats rec teams and the Widnes Wild women's team. Obviously, somebody had seen what I was doing, they liked what I was doing, and they asked me if I'd do the reports for the Widnes Wild website as well, which I was very, very happy to do.
So, what can we expect to find in the book?
Well, it's got match reports from every game that Widnes Wild played during the season. There are match stats as far as we could get. Some aren't quite so easy to track down. There's great photos throughout. There's interviews. A little bit of everything, really.
Sounds excellent. But it's not just about the Wild team, is it?
Not just about the Wild team, no. There's a bit about the All-Stars charity game that was played in December. There's the Anthony Morris Memorial Shield. That's a rec player who sadly died a little while ago. That's a game that's played between the Raiders and the Wildcats. There's a report about that. There's a full review of the Widnes Wild women's team's season in the Women's Premier League. And there's also profiles of some of the people that help out behind the scenes at the games.
That's at the Silver Blades ice rink, isn't it?
At Silver Blades in Widnes, yes.
Right. How much is the book and where can people buy a copy?
Well, it's £8.50. The best place to buy it from at the moment, it's only available mail order at the moment. Anybody who wants to stock it retail, drop us a line and I'm sure we can sort something out. But just for now, you can get it from my website, which is www.icehockeyreview.co.uk. If you order it through my website, you get free postage and packing. You can also get it via Amazon, but it costs more because of their postage costs and that sort of thing. But otherwise, the best thing to do and find out about all sorts of other fascinating ice hockey books that I've had dealings with in the past is check out the website www.icehockeyreview.co.uk.
Oh, very kindly, Paul gave us a copy of his book to review, and it makes a fascinating read. So if you like ice hockey and you want to see what your favourite player did, or how many points they scored in what game, or how many penalty minutes they racked up, then it's a good thing to buy.
Can't catch us in the car?
Download the TuneIn app.
Or log on at hcr923fm.com.
So, we're into the final 15 minutes here, and Mike and Ben, we've had all the seriousness, we've had stuff about the books, we've had stuff about upcoming events. Now let's get into some light-hearted stuff. Comedy moments. While you've been playing, there must be some comedy moments you can talk about that are clean.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the ones that probably would be marked up as not safe for air. But, I think that just goes with the territory from hockey, really. But yeah, plenty of incidents with gaffer tape around the old skates and tying the skates together so people can't actually put them on in the first place. A few issues with deep heat and certain protective undergarments that hockey players would play. But yeah, that's makes for a bit uncomfortable warm up to, and no pun intended there as well.
I was going to say that will be a warm up and a half.
Yeah.
So Ben, you've played it, and you started down in Bracknell. We're going to talk about rinks. Rinks, ice size. Rinks you like playing on, size of pad, small, big.
Yeah, well, I played at Grimsby for the first time a few weeks ago, so that was an experience.
You've not played at Whitelink, have you?
No, not been there.
No, apparently that was the size of his postage stamp as well.
Yeah, so that was interesting. I mean, Bracknell was where I played the majority of my hockey. Yeah, it's getting old now, but it still is probably one of my favourite rinks to play on, so it'd be good to go down there again. But I've played in Sweden and France as well. All different sizes. No, I just easy get on with it.
You don't find, being a D-man, having to cover the ice for from the defensive side of things on the big ice or the small ice, you don't mind?
No, I mean, I played a lot of roller hockey alongside ice hockey as well, so I'm used to a smaller rink as well, as well as a bigger rink. So,
I mean, so is there any place you've never played that you liked?
I mean, I'd like to go and play in Canada in a rink out there. I suppose probably like everyone's dream, and whoever's played ice hockey, is to play on the pond. I've never had the chance. I know a few people that have, but that's definitely something that'd be awesome to play on a frozen lake.
Apart from if you've seen Mystery Alaska, you wouldn't want to do the forfeit though, would you? For those of you who don't know that scene from the film, the forfeit is they basically have to skate around in just basically shorts, for want of a better phrase, and nosedive sliding along the ice on their belly into a snowbank, and that's one of the forfeits. Yeah, it'd be a bit
cold.
Yes, it might freeze your fingers off. We'll leave it at that, because Mike's having a good chuckle there. In terms of inspirational players, any inspirational players?
For me, if you're looking at the NHL, Scott Stevens, Rob Blake, Darcy Tucker, Ty Domi. Closer to home, one of the guys in Bracknell that I followed and really kind of was taking massive inspiration from was a guy called Matt Cote. He was a D-man for Bracknell. He played for them for sort of 10 years. Phenomenal player. And probably the early part of my career, I kind of just followed him and what he did and went from there, really.
Matt Cote, I've seen Matt Cote play, and he is good. Mike?
Yeah, well, I think obviously close to home again, keeping it in the Manchester area, you've got to look at the likes of Tony Hand, who realistically have single-handedly brought the big time back to hockey in Manchester, really, and obviously still involved in the team over there to this day, really. So.
Any sort of NHL preferences?
Well, I've got to say for my sins, I'm a big New York Rangers fan, so
could be worse.
It could be much worse. I won't mention any other teams, but yeah, they could be far worse than that.
Blackhawks.
Oh, Blackhawks, yes.
Blackhawks are fine. Ben?
Montreal Canadiens for the NHL.
Canadiens. Yeah, we'll let that one slide. Yeah, that's okay. That's not so bad.
So what do we think of the new team that's coming in the franchise?
Oh, yes.
Well, I say it's a bit of an unusual kit to start with, anyway, for the Vegas team. But
yeah, Las Vegas Golden
Knights. Yeah.
But they've done well in picking up some good players.
Yeah, well, I mean, they obviously got the first expansion draft picks, and they seem to have taken on quite a decent start-up team they've got there, so quite a lot of the big names from the other clubs.
Yeah, so those of you who are NHL fans or fancy dipping into the NHL, they've just added an extra team this year, so it's going to be a very interesting new structure over in North America this coming season.
It's interesting the way they picked up one of the Pittsburgh Penguins netminder as
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is, you can't understand why the Pittsburgh Penguins would want to get rid of him. But they can only protect so many players.
Exactly.
So it's a good way for teams to not be at the bottom of the league to start with. They've got a fighting chance to actually compete.
Yeah, it's one of the ways in which the draft system works in North America, allowing teams who finish low down in the league when they're recruiting new younger players to pick early and try and pick some of the better younger players and allow them to sort of strengthen. So some teams that might be not too good for a couple of years all of a sudden start to shoot back up the league, and it just makes it a competitive structure. Guys, this one actually was sent in last week by Ollie Barron, our player coach from the Widnes Wild, and we didn't get a chance to ask it, but I think actually we can ask it in a slightly different way. If you guys were on the Crystal Maze and think about players on the team, any player that you would sacrifice a crystal for, and any player you would definitely not sacrifice a crystal for if they got locked in. It's a toughie.
Well, there's a few lads who I think would honestly sacrifice themselves, to be fair. They don't. Yeah. I don't know if we're really naming names, but there's certainly a few lads who would be sacrificing themselves, not for the greater good, but just because they would.
So, who would you sacrifice a crystal for?
Well, I think everyone knows it, don't they?
I think Mr. Priestley would quite happily sacrifice one for him. He's a good lad. So he's a bit one of the team jokes, I think, but he's a Raider through and through, and I think he enjoys the sport. So.
And who wouldn't you sacrifice a crystal to?
Howard.
Howard. Mr. Hughes. Yeah, he's actually Howard's a big personality, a big part of the Raiders team. Does a hell of a lot of organising in the back room, really, and doesn't get on the ice as much of we'd like to force him to be. but no, he's Raiders through and through, Howard, and thanks very much to him as well for all his help.
Unfortunately, Howard, you'd be locked in. Sorry. Oh, didn't. We love you anyway, Howard. I mean, he does do a lot for us at other games, including Wild and around with the Wildcats and everyone else. So yeah, I mean, everyone involved, of course, over at the Rink of Widnes, they do give their time, and it's really valuable and very much appreciated across all levels. Which brings me on to the other bit. One of the things that we say about his fan bases, be it just a couple of fans or a bit of a difference. What do you think has made a difference for the Raiders over the last sort of 2 years? Do you think some of the extra sort of off-ice things have helped?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to many rec games and there may be 5-10 people there watching, and the vast majority of them will probably just be family members and friends more than anything else. But when you've got the likes of the Raiders games where we're having, for when we're playing the League Cup games, where we're having 30, 40, up to 50 people there watching, it's a massive difference. And obviously we've got the charity games that we've played where we had 300-400 people minimum there. It was just a massive part of the game for us, really.
And the charity games especially, I think it shows the hockey family coming through again. We keep banging on about this hockey family, but I think it's a bug. everyone who's involved wants to help them, and if someone's injured, you help them.
Yeah.
If someone needs picking up, you help them. If they need a job on the rink doing something, actually, volunteering to become a match night, someone's there to give them a hand. And I think that's the good thing about hockey, is it's all inclusive and people do get helped when they need it.
Oh yeah, it's I mean, we say it week in, week out. We were saying it every week on this show, and it's one of those sports, is ice hockey in general, where guys will go out and maybe even drop their gloves, but then they'll go and have a drink later. And you guys have been caught up in a little punch up from time to time? No?
Yeah, a few.
Just a few. Anyone in particular you might want to mention?
There was a bench clearance that kind of started with me and our goalie.
Oh, you and the goalie?
Yeah, no, our goalie. Our goalie got jumped, and then I started, and then everything else kicked off.
Oh, you went to the
That was good
defensive. Well, yeah, I suppose one of the jobs of a good D-man is to look after the goalie.
Yeah.
I mean, don't go in the blue paint in front of the goalkeeper, otherwise, they are... Goalies are special in many, many ways. Anyone who sticks the head in front of a disc of vulcanised rubber at 100 miles an hour is a very, very brave person. Either of you ever played in goal?
Well, my brother used to play in goal. My brother and sister played hockey as well, and my dad as well. And my brother was a goalie, and I went one training session in goal. Yeah, never again.
You've got to be a very, very special person to want to stand in front of that puck. Yeah.
I mean, I've known a fair few goaltenders and spoken to them, and yeah, it's... I mean, even with all that padding, they definitely feel the puck from time to time, and sometimes, I mean, even seeing them physically headbutt the puck out of the air when it's coming at them, saying, why? So I've got to stop it going in. So,
any part of your body.
Another funny. I asked it last week as well. I'm going to ask it again this week. Hollywood's going to make your life story. Who's going to star in it? Ooh, it's a toughie.
Brad Pitt, probably.
Brad Pitt for Ben. And your leading lady?
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, come on then.
I've got to go for the Rock.
Oh, another one for the Rock.
Just because the sheer size of the fella.
And leading lady?
This is the first year.
Yeah, no. I
Mike's lost for
I think we'll go for the Jennifer as well. Yeah.
Oh, Jennifer Aniston's on score. We might have to start doing a bit of a league on this one. Different players and who they're voting for in their leading lady and leading men for the Hollywood sort of Hollywood persons of fame for their life story. One more. Goal celebrations or end of game celebrations. Who do you know or have either been playing against or alongside that's had one of the silliest that you can think of?
I wouldn't say it's exactly a celebration, but one of our goalies, Charlie Perry, he is a very special goalie, I'll say that, and he just dances whenever there's a stoppage in the game. You just turn around and he's dancing away in his crease. I don't think he ever stands still, because he's just having one dance. He's singing, his sticks all over the place. Yeah.
Actually, I can vouch for this. It's a shame when I'm videoing the games, I can't actually have a camera on this guy and just put him in a picture-in-picture for the highlights, because it is so entertaining to watch.
I think we have to have a second camera on it. The goalie cam. Well,
we've only just got about a minute or so left, so any last questions for the guys, Doug, before we start wrapping things up?
No, I think that's about it. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been good fun.
Would you come back again?
We would do, without a doubt.
Excellent.
Certainly hope so. Well, thank you very much to Mike and to Ben for coming in. We hope you've enjoyed the show this evening. Doug, it's been a good one?
It's been great. It's been very, very full.
Yeah, as usual, that's what we like to do on Time to Go Wild. Don't forget you can drop us messages on radio at widneswild.co.uk during the week for emails, and through Twitter and Facebook with, of course, TTGW Radio for both of them as handles. Well, I'll be back tomorrow night for me sins. Nah, it's not for me sins. It's for my pure musical indulgence and to wind everyone up with the Box of Delights at 10 o'clock here on HCR. I can see Doug chuckling because he knows I've got an absolute doozy in store for everybody. And then, of course, Doug, we'll both be back next Monday.
We will.
Here.
After seeing some ice hockey at the weekend.
And we'll have more. So, without further ado, that's everything from us. So until next week, Ta-ra!